everyone, it's Katie here from the Scrappy Sisters, and I am here today with a layout for the YouTube hop that I'm part of, which is the Stash Busters YouTube hop. And today I am doing a layout using ribbon. So you can see all of my ribbon there. And we challenged ourselves this month to do a layout using all of our old ribbon. So what I've actually done is I'm going through my ribbon now. The photo I'm using, as you can see, is one of my sister at her graduation. I think it was taken in 2009, so it's pretty old. So I'm going through and just putting the ribbon in kind of loose colour families. Ordinarily, I probably would have edited all this bit out, but I figured since the whole purpose of the video was to show you how I have used ribbon, that I better not edit that out. Sorry about that, got a frog in my throat. So what I'm doing is, you saw me with the pencil there, and I'm actually drew a pencil love heart, and I'm going to sort of make a love heart out of ribbon. So you can see here I decided to put the double-sided tape straight onto my layout rather than on the ribbon first, because I thought it might be a bit easier, and I was right, it was much easier. So you can see here, again, ordinarily from this point on I probably would have edited this out, but I figured people might be interested in seeing how I sort of put this part of my layout together. So what I've done is, as I said, I've put the double-sided tape straight onto the layout, or onto the white cardstock for the background, and I am kind of putting the ribbon on top of that. I did find it was really easy that way. Not that I tried the other way of putting double-sided tape on the ribbon and then laying that down. I didn't try that. That may well have been easy too, but I just thought I would go with this because, yeah, it was working for me. So you can see I've gone with the bigger pieces of ribbon first, and then I'll come back in a little bit later and put some smaller pieces of ribbon down just to kind of create more of a layering effect and, yeah, just sort of, I don't know, create some bit of interest on the layout. So obviously I don't do much else to this layout apart from the ribbon, given that that's quite a lot going on. So I wanted to make a bit of a feature of it. So you can see this ribbon I'm using now is actually more like a lace fabric ribbon, and it did come with its own double-sided tape on the back, which I didn't think that would still be sticky because I've had this ribbon for years, but it actually was. So that was good. I didn't need to worry about the tape for that particular ribbon, but I still used it anyway. So if you haven't seen one of these videos from either my sister or I, we've been involved for the last few months with this awesome group on YouTube of ladies who are trying to use up some of our stash and showing people how we use things in our layout. So last month we did thickers, using up leftover thickers, and yeah, this month we're doing ribbon, and then the month before that I think we did punches. So we've done heaps of really interesting videos. So down in the description box below I'll leave a link to all the other wonderful ladies who are also doing layouts in this particular series for the hop, this particular hop. Also Jess, my sister, has done a layout as well, so I'll make sure that I leave that down below, although you've probably seen that one already, but if you haven't, I will link it down below. So you can see here, as I was saying earlier, I just wanted to put some of the smaller pieces of ribbon splashed around the love heart as well, just as I said, to add a bit of interest and to add some different colours and textures to the layout. So I am doing that now. So I've added that sort of pink and white lacy type ribbon, and now I'm also kind of looking for some thinner ribbon that I can make kind of the top of the love heart and the bottom point as well. This was a little harder than it looked to put together. I think I did sort of get some inspiration from Pinterest for similar sort of layouts. None of obviously that used ribbon, but a lot that used either what I imagine are the branding strips from paper or just small strips from scraps of paper, and I think it would be far easier to do this with paper than it was with ribbon. The ribbon did get a bit frayed on the ends, but you really can't tell once the whole layout is put together. So I am super pleased with how this turned out, and I think I will definitely do something similar to try and use up a little bit more of my ribbon, because believe it or not, I've still got a whole massive bag full, even though I used quite a lot on this layout. So also, slight confession, this small bit of ribbon that I'm using now or the darker one, the black one, was actually off, you know, the clothes, the ribbon that they use to keep clothes on hangers. Yeah, that's what that was. I keep it. I'm a weirdo, I know. So just tidying up the top of the heart there and figuring out, I do want to use this thin ribbon that I'm using now, which actually is cream, and it has like a yellow bit of thread through it, or it might be the other way around. It's slightly yellow with a cream bit of thread through it. So I wanted to put that around the layout a little bit because I liked the different texture that that sort of thread gave it. I did need to bring out my Tombow just to help adhere some of the ribbon down. I think I probably could have used Tombow a little bit more than I did, but the problem I have with Tombow, or I don't know if it's just mine or what, but it doesn't come out of my bottle evenly, and so I end up with like big splotches of Tombow all over the place, and it's not great. So I've done as much of the heart out of the ribbon as I will, so I am going to pack away my ribbon now and move that out of my way, because I just want to clear my workspace a bit so that I can move on with what else I want to put on this layout. So I'm just popping all that ribbon back and sort of tidying up slightly, which is good. So now you can see here I've got my photo, and I did go and raid my scrap bin and found some scraps that I think went with the ribbon and things. Even though I am going to mount my photo on white cardstock, I did trim the white border from my photo. Now the reason I did that was because, as I said, this photo was taken in 2009 and it was also printed in 2009, and it looked a bit tatty around the edges. So even though I am just doing exactly what the photo already had, which was a white border, it was a little tatty and I wanted to clean it up a bit. So I thought if I trimmed the white off from around the edge, it would clean up, and it did. It looks much better. So I popped some vellum behind there, and now I did pull out a whole heap of different scrap pattern paper that I thought I might use to layer up my photo. But when I saw this one, I knew that I wanted to use that because most of those colours in that pattern paper are in the ribbon, and I thought it would go well. So I'm just layering that up, and I've gone what I guess maybe the wrong way on the pattern paper. I don't know if there is a wrong or right way, but I wanted just all those colours to be seen. Now I felt that there was a bit much going on, and I needed something a bit lighter to then layer this paper up with. So I went through a few different options, and I did choose this wood grain, which does look lovely. But then the problem that I had was when I put it down in the layout, it didn't really pop enough. I felt like it just kind of faded into the background. So I did go back to my stash and pulled out some black cardstock. So I'm back with the black cardstock, and I just wanted to mount it on a very thin layer of the black cardstock, just to help, I guess, make it really pop out of the page once I've popped it on top of that ribbon. So as you can see, or at least I can anyway, I think it looks way better with the black, so I'm really glad that I did that. So I just am going to place my photo now before I decide what else I want to put around and how else I want to embellish. So I'm going to stick the photo, and I do and ah about which side of the heart I want to put it on, and ultimately I do go for the left. That was mainly because I didn't want it to cover up that red and white ribbon, which I know is a bit weird, but I didn't. So I did move it to the left. I looked through my thicker stash, and again, I've been on a real kick, you will have seen lately with my last few videos, is that I like using the existing word thickers for my titles. So I went through what I already had and found Good Times, which I've stuck down, and then that little container there is actually some of my DIY embellishments. So I pulled a few of those out, and then I felt like the layout needed something else, and I thought wood veneer would probably work well because it's, you know, there's no colour to it, so it wouldn't compete with the huge amount of colour that's going on in the background with the ribbon. So I pulled out just this random container of wood veneer that I had on my desk. Most of those ones, everything that I pulled out, I think is part of the Love Always Cocoa Vanilla collection of wood veneer, and I just pulled the flowers out. And then, sorry about my arm there, but I was grabbing my smaller wood veneer which live on top of the little shelf that sits on my desk, so I had to reach up and grab it, and I do end up pulling a little love heart out of that after first of all I accidentally remove one of the inside bits and I have to fix it. I don't know if I edited that out of the video or not. So I've chosen 2 of my DIY embellishment kind of clusters. They're very mini clusters, but they are clusters nonetheless. One is a little love heart with a bow, and one is just a little banner and a floral piece and a word that says details. So that's what I'm just attaching there, and then this one with the love heart, I'm just attaching them with glue dots because I had to use the Tombow on the wood veneer to make it stick to the ribbon. Oh, here's me going, oh my god, I just pulled out the divider in my wood veneer, and I'm trying to fix that quickly. All the while I know, because I only filmed this video about half an hour ago, I'm sitting there going, oh my god, I'm still filming. Disaster. So I'm trying to find a little heart to pop down the bottom of my ribbon heart, mainly because I couldn't get a piece of ribbon that sort of went small enough that didn't look silly to the bottom of the love heart, so I did put a little wood veneer heart on. And now I'm going through my Tim Holtz Small Talk Tiny Words stickers and just putting some tiny word stickers down on the layout, and I'm just kind of sticking them all over the place. I do go a little tiny word crazy, but I think it works. I'm trying to pick all phrases that do relate to the layout. So, you know, I've done things like hold on tight to your dreams, and so the adventure begins, and this is what family looks like. So lots of sentimental sayings I've got going on. You know, it's always nice when a member of your family graduates, and so it's lovely that we could all be there and watch Jess graduate, so good on her. So I've almost finished, and as you can see here, a few more tiny word stickers. Now, this is where I make a mistake, and hot tip for anyone using ribbon like this: don't splotch your charcoal coloured Kaisercraft mist or any kind of mist onto your ribbon, because, and it makes sense now that I've thought about it, it's soaked into the fabric and it looked all kind of splotchy and not as nice. But I'm not covering it up, I'm just going with it. It's all good. These things happen. I point it out in a second so you can see what I mean, but I'm really happy with how it turned out, apart from the little splotches on the ribbon. But you know, I can live with it. Put it in my album, you can't really tell. There it is, there's me pointing. So I hope you have a lovely day. Please check out the other girls in the hop. I'll leave all their links down below, and we'll see you in the next video. Okay, bye!